I mean, yeah, this dungeon goes on a little longer than I remember. I mean, I'm loving the music, but you know, only so many times you can see your character go in and out of the same rooms over and over and over. Ironically, next recording session may be a little more interesting for me to watch, at least, because it'll be montage based, and because remember earlier on in the game where you had to do a bunch of regular bulletin board missions before you could get to the story missions that you needed to do? Well, think of that, but much longer. I hate the section of the game after the fugitive section because it's just needless padding, and it's the worst. Actually, that's something, because the remake's out now. The remake of this game is out now, and from what I've heard, people either prefer it over the original or like it less than the original. It's a standard remake. It's still visually not that appealing to me because I think the art style could have been... I like the idea of the art style, I just think it could have been made a little less cheaply, look a little less cheap. I think it's really the 3D models that do that for me. Ever since Pokemon went 3D, I've never really liked the look of it. That's just me personally though, because I know a lot of people like the 3D look, but I've always preferred the sprites because I don't think there's been a better looking game than either this one or any of the, probably Mystery Dungeon 2, or Black and White 2, because Black and White 2 are gorgeous looking. Purely because of the sprite work and the animation. You know, and I'll, any day, if I could pick between a beautiful looking sprite palette or sprite work that looks really nice with nice animation, or some generic 3D looking thing, I'll easily pick sprite work because it looks nicer and it ages much nicer. Think of what's the name? Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's a Saturn and PS1 game, and it looks better than most of those games now because it stuck to a 2D, 32-bit, beautiful 2D art style, and looks really, really nice. And the animation's so fluid. And I can tell you what, it definitely looks better than something like Castlevania 64. But this is Mount Blaze Peak, and now we're seeing Arcanines. It's an interesting take on the theme. It's a lot more... I don't know, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have mentioned this, if only for the pun, back during Mount Thunder. Oh god, be careful, Fearo's got quick attack. Fury attack, sorry. I'm pretty sure I would have mentioned back during Mount Thunder the peak themes of dungeons are always more sort of calm before the storm versions of their respective themes. That's how I view them anyway. So yeah, I definitely would have mentioned that last time because I would have made a calm before the storm pun on Mount Thunder. So level 20 anyway. Let's ignore that. So yeah, I think this is probably my favourite peak theme. But it's probably the most threatening enemy in this dungeon is Fearos, or are Fearos. My English is falling apart in this past recording session. I've been messing up my words all over the place. It's terrible. But yeah, Fearos are definitely a threat that should be handled with extreme caution because of their Fury attack, and they won't hesitate to use it, and at this point, it's the strongest Fury attack we've had to deal with. It's certainly stronger than any Beedrill we've had to deal with, so stay on your guard, use Attract. Attract is stupid broken in this game. Just unbelievable. Actually, in the remake, is Attract still broken? Can you still use Attract on anything 100% of the time? I'm honestly not sure. Because I watched footage of one of the boss fights that we haven't actually seen yet in the remake, and it seems that bosses are a lot more, not involved, but they, one, have a lot more health, two, do a lot more damage, and they already did a lot of that, three, their arenas seem to be a bit more dynamic. You have to watch where you stand. So, for example, I don't think this is an actual thing, but let's say you're at the top of a mountain or a peak, and the longer the battle goes on, the more of the arena crumbles around you, so you have to beat the battle pretty quickly. Say something like that, which is interesting. And I've also noticed that you can have, because the bosses are so strong, you really want to bring in more partners to help you deal with them. And I think, because the maximum amount of Pokemon you can have with you in this game is 4, and the remake is, I think, 8, which is absurd, and it looks ridiculous in a dungeon. Anyway, here we are at the summit. This might also have a link to the natural calamities. It's like a furnace. I'm getting roasted. I don't want to spend any time in a place this dangerous. Let's get through this quick. Halt. Huh? What? It suddenly turned dark. I can hear the mountain's screams. It is shrieking in pain. Someone is causing Mount Blaze to... whatever. I'm already messed up the line. You got it wrong. It's not us. We just happened to be passing through here. Who are you anyway? Show yourself. The mountain's rage is my rage. I'm Zapdos, Moltres. We have the same character essentially. I am Moltres. Warrior of fire am I. There is no forgiving those who befoul the mountain. On guard. Alright, let's dance. Alright, so Moltres. All the boss fights in the game are very similar, you know. Take them seriously because, well, for one, they're not that long, so you can concentrate for a small amount of time. 2, use your buffs, use your debuffs, and use Attract. Attract is stupid in this game. And once you finish setting up, have at 'em. Yeah, if you've got Bullet Seed, or any multi-attacking move, set your partner or yourself to just use that over and over, because that hits multiple times for a good amount of damage, so, you know, even though it's not very effective against Moltres here, it's still doing a pretty decent amount of damage, even if it only hits twice. So at this point I actually ran out of PP for Attract. That's not a problem because I can just heal it up. But I think at this point I'd try to kill Moltres before I have to, or before it snaps out of it, because I don't want to have to use Max Elixir towards the end of a boss fight, and I'd succeed. Or rather Henry succeeds, because Henry is absurdly overpowered with that Bullet Seed. Wait, listen. We're not here to cause trouble. We're here only because we were chased here. You have to realize that the mountain isn't the only place that's suffering. Natural calamities are occurring all over the place. We're fugitives now, so we can't do anything. But we want to help other Pokemon that were suffering from these natural disasters. Do you say that sincerely? It's true. Please believe me. If you think I'm lying, look at my eyes. Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. Ay ay ay. Fine. I trust that you aren't lying. Whew, that was scary. I felt like my knees turned to jelly. You may pass. Get through Mount Blaze. And promise me this. Promise me that you will find the cause of the calamities that... Was it wreak our world? Whack our world? I scrolled through the text too fast. Of course, that's not possible right now, but... We will. We'll get on it. We're being hunted, so we can't do it right away. But we're a rescue team. We'll investigate what's behind the natural calamities. I promise. I will hold you to that promise. You've made me believe that you will honour that promise. If you do not forget the courage you showed in facing me. Is there anything else? No. I was only preparing to take off. Oh. Farewell. Whew. Oh, that was scary. Ill? That was scary? I've never heard that. I've never heard ill be used as a term of fear? I guess his stomach hurts? I don't know. I don't know. That's a nice path that's been laid out for us. We sure walked a lot. I'm bushed. Let's rest up. The view's fantastic. Oh look, Whitey over there. See how small Mount Blaze looks from here? We've come a really long way, haven't we? Whitey, do you remember how hard it was to get across Mount Blaze? Wasn't that hard, to be honest. And then we gave it our all to get out here. Do you know what I'm thinking? We've come so far, maybe there aren't any more Pokemon that can get to us. No, there are others. Oh? There's someone else? Well, who do you mean? Oh, I get it. There's Alakazam. You're right, Alakazam's team should be able to get here. Yup, we don't have a choice. We have to keep going. I think we need to go somewhere no one else can get to. Let's be positive and keep moving. Huh? What's the matter? Aren't you coming? Huh? Am I tired? They're chasing us down. We can't afford to rest. And I told you already. I said I would go with you. Oh, come on. No need for the long face. I'm fine. Let's go, Whitey. I'll go wherever you go. Alright. And so Whitey's harrowing journey continued. Seeking refuge in even harsher places, they fled north. They crossed row upon row of mountains. Forded fetid swamps. Ugh. Scale frozen cliffs. Till finally, Whitey's tiny team arrived in a world of snow. A frigid wasteland of driving blizzards. So now we get to the second half of the fugitive section with this song. This song is called Escape Through the Snow, and it's really nice. It's really, really, really nice. It only plays about 3 times or so, which is a crime because it's really, really, really good. Uses this motif, this melody that's playing, wasn't that the same one in the song we just heard? Yeah, it is. The sort of sadness song. Anyway, we saw Absol there. I probably shouldn't spoil the name of this Pokemon, but I'm going at this from the perspective that we've all played mainline Pokemon and we know our Pokemon, and that's Absol. Those trees are frozen, so it looks really neat. Looks straight out of Yoshi's Island, actually. Now that I look at the trees, or Club Penguin, honestly. Okay, we don't have a choice. We have to get through this place. It'll be horribly cold. I'd rather not go if I don't have to. But hiding out in this area isn't the answer either. We can only go forward. We just have to keep our spirits up and keep going, Whitey. So thankfully this theme continues outside the dungeon. And yeah, we got a lot of red gummies from Mount Blaze there, so that's interesting. Oh, I think I've heard that in the remake you can expand your inventory and get more slots, which good. I mean, you can do that starting with Mystery Dungeon 2, but you know, to have that in the original's pretty good. But I've also seen in the remake that there's no regular attack. Although I think I went over this. I think I went over this last recording session. Yeah. No regular attack sounds baffling to me, but sure. All right. So I switched out my items there. Give myself a special band. May as well increase my special damage instead of relying on slightly brought up physical damage, but there's nowhere else we can really go, so. I really love this area, it looks really nice though. Listen, I hate snow because my body isn't built for it, but this is really nice looking. So here you can go to Frosty Forest or Snow Path, and I go to Snow Path. Just to get a bit of experience. So 5 floors, 4 floors, and yeah, 4 floors. Forest's annoying because didn't kill it. Oh, it's gonna run away. Fantastic. And you don't even give that much experience anyway, so. And I missed the corner shot, which is fantastic. So whatever, who cares? Hunger Seed. So yeah, at this point I switch over my main attack to be Water Gun, my set move to be Water Gun, because I switched out my Power Band for a Special Band because my physical damage is pretty lacking even with the Power Band. So I just decided, you know what, I'll just boost my special attack damage to even more. And I keep missing against these bloody ferrets. Farts. I mean, they are ferrets, but oh, look at that. That's super frustrating. At this point I just go, whatever, I don't care. They're useless. Nose pass here. Not much of a problem. Oh yeah, block in this game just stops you from being able to move, which it's okay. I guess it's not any less useful than it was in mainline, because mainline block is also just pointless. Alright. It is very strange though that they use, well, I guess it's not super strange, but I don't like how they use this theme for the side dungeons that you can do during this section, because it's very it's a big tone clasher. You know, because this is a serious section of the game where our heroes don't know what they're going to do. They just have to keep on running, and all the songs in the game reflect that, except for these ones. All the songs during this section of the game, I should say, reflect that. Except for these ones are just, well, this song in particular is very clashing. But oh well, I suppose. So there's that sniping that I'd love to see from Henry. Get some pokies and head out of the dungeon. I wonder how much money I have on hand at the moment, because I've not been able to put it away ever since being able to access Pokemon Square, which was, if we're including the side dungeons, what, 4 dungeons ago? So yeah, it's a lot of money to rack up, and if I die once, I lose all of it. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Because at this stage of the game, the items that you can get from Kecleon's shop are pretty good. Anyway, time for Frosty Forest, another one of... It's similar to Lapis Cave in that it's sort of filler dungeon. Yeah, I mean, the items that you can get from Kecleon's shop at this point of the game are pretty good. I mean, obviously you can't get there now, but when we can, they're pretty good. Granted though, I believe that the items you get are completely dependent on your rank, as in your rescue team rank. So say for example I'm bronze, I think, and once you get to silver, I think this is true, this may not be the case, but once you get to silver, Kecleon can start selling something called the X-ray specs, which is amazing because it's a held item, and if you hold it, you can see all the items and enemies on the floor. You can't see the floor layout, but you can see all the items and enemies at all times. So you can see where they move, you can see where the items are. It's crazy. You can't see the stairs, but super useful. And then in the remake, you just have that as an innate ability that you can't turn off. You just have the X-ray specs built in. So, which is baffling to me because it's such a item that is, you know, super sought after, at least by me. And you just have it in the remake. It's crazy. The remake seems simultaneously easier and harder than the original. Granted, I haven't even tried the demo, so I haven't played it at all, but why would I try that when I've got to replay Explorers of Sky and essentially experience it for the first time, because I remember nothing about it. And that kills me, because I remember, the thing I remember the most about it is it was fantastic, especially the story. The story was absolutely fantastic, and I remember nothing from it. You know, there's plenty of games from that time period, what, late 2000s, early 2010s, just over 10 years ago. Around that time, I can remember everything about it, you know. The games that I was playing at the time I remember perfectly, you know. I remember Brawl perfectly, I remember, what else was I playing? New Super Mario Bros. Wii perfectly. Sonic Classic Collection, just because it's Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Knuckles. Absolutely perfectly. And any of the Pokemon games I was playing at the time, any Pokemon games I can remember perfectly. But Mystery Dungeon, either of the Mystery Dungeons, I couldn't remember anything from at all. In fact, I remembered less from this game before I replayed it, so...